Hey, what's up everybody, it's Cosmo the Coder here, and welcome to another Humble Bundle review. Or at least it would be if I could review this bundle. I'll explain in a minute. This week we got a new kind of bundle. We've got the Humble Capcom PlayStation Bundle. That's right, it's a bundle for the PlayStation. And oh dear, this is gonna be fun. Basically, there's a bit of a problem with this bundle. First of all, the fact that it's on PlayStation. Now, that's not a big problem in terms of that, but it's a fact that it's mainly on PlayStation 3. Now, those of you who, well, I suppose, know about PlayStation will know that if you have a PlayStation 4, that's great, but you can't play PlayStation 3 games on it, at least not ones that are exclusively to PlayStation 3. There is a workaround to that, and I'm not going to get into that right now, but put simply, there is a bit of a problem in that if you don't have a PlayStation 3, for the most part, you can't play most PlayStation 3 games. Now, it's fairly easy to get PlayStation 3s. There's obviously second-hand options and there's obviously new options, but the long and short of it is that you need an HD and hard disk drive, or you might need to expand the PlayStation 3 with a hard disk drive. Now, that said, that doesn't necessarily affect this bundle. What does affect this bundle mainly is the fact that it's region locked. That's right, it's region locked. And what's worse is that it's not available in the EU, which basically limits me in terms of actually being able to buy this, because despite the fact that it is PlayStation 3, and I have been thinking about buying a PlayStation 3 to play some of the games that I get on PS Plus for PlayStation 3, I don't have a PlayStation 3 and I couldn't get this bundle anyway, because it's mainly for countries that I'm going to click on here: the United States, Canada, Mexico, Brazil, Chile, Argentina, Peru, Colombia, Panama, Costa Rica, Ecuador, Guatemala, El Salvador, Paraguay, Honduras, Bolivia, Uruguay and Nicaragua, to basically give the whole region list. Now, before you start shouting, but you can buy it on a different PSN account. Yes, you could, technically, though you are invalidating the terms of service, which is depending on how happy you are to do that. But the same thing basically goes, is that if you've got a PlayStation 4 like me, out of all of the games that you would get, you've got 1, 2, well, no, actually there's a voucher. 1, 2, 3, 4 games out of more, and it's basically, she's telling me stuff I shouldn't be doing. Now, here's the basic gist of it. I could go off to the PlayStation Store, and go to the US PlayStation Store, sorry, get the dollar amount and compare the prices and go through like I usually do. But I'm not going to. And as much as I don't want, as much as I don't like doing it. I kind of think, well, I should put the effort in, I should put the time in to do these things. The problem is that it just wouldn't be worth my time in terms of the fact that, when I do the Humble Bundles, at least I've got a chance of getting the Humble Bundles on Steam. I did the Nintendo one because it was relatively easy to do. This one, well, I could run through the games for you, but most of them are self-explanatory, or they're games that have been in previous bundles that are, again, sort of on PC that I could go through. I mean, Wolf of the Battlefield Commando 3 is a sort of action arcade game. So beyond sort of watching the videos and reading the blurb, that's all I'll be able to give you. And Final Fight's a fighting game. Super Puzzle Fighter 2 is sort of a Tetris columns clone thing. Lost Planet 3 is a third-person shooter. It's a prequel to Lost Planet 1 and 2. It's not as good as the first two, apparently. You got Street Fighter 2 HD Remix, Resident Evil HD. Akami, okay, might be a bit sort of out there. Remember Me is another third-person platformer thing by the people who made Life is Strange, Mega Man 9 and 10 combo pack. People should know what Mega Man is. You get vouchers, you get Resident Evil 0 and Devil May Cry. Again, all games that have been in bundles beforehand that are generally, overall the bundle's not bad. It's actually, a lot of people that I've actually sort of talk about this bundle are saying it's quite a good bundle. The biggest issue is that because it's region locked and mainly for the PlayStation 3, people are not necessarily going to buy it. And you can see just from the numbers, it's not going up very fast. Usually when a bundle's released, it goes up relatively quickly, but it's only sold just over 5,000 bundles. So even then, that's not a great sort of takeoff for this kind of bundle. So overall, all I will say is this: is that if you're eligible for it and want the games, have a PlayStation 3, then go for it. And basically, because it's a good bundle. It's, you know, the price is good for what you're getting, and if any of the other games interest you, then I can say it's worth the money. And a lot of people are saying that, but for me, it's a bit of a meh. You know, I can't review it properly because I can't actually play it. I couldn't do it. You know, if it was actually in this region and I could compare the prices a bit better, then yes. And I know I could go to the PlayStation Store and sort through that. I'm working on actually doing that for the Steam games, both giving the pound cost and the dollar amount. But that's something that's in the future, and if I can figure out an easy way of doing that, I will do it. So that is basically it. It's a nice bundle. Go for it if you're eligible. Now, last week was the Humble Indie Bundle 17, and those of you who are paying attention may have noticed I didn't actually give a score for it. That's because I've decided to only give score for the bundle when it's complete. I should probably have said that, but also I was kind of rushing a bit, I think. So this bundle was expanded, so I can actually turn my ticker on. There we go. Got all Cosmo hat there, spurting out my text. Now, 3 games have been added to the Humble Indie Bundle. They are the Hexcells Complete Pack, Expand, and Regency Solitaire. Sorry, Regency Solitaire. My soft R's coming through there. Hexcells is it's basically a game. It's sort of an interesting sort of variation on Minesweeper. It's fairly simple to pick up and quite a good puzzle game. In fact, it's so good, in fact, that it's actually quite well reviewed. Now, you're actually getting, in the complete pack, 3 separate games. There's Hexcells Plus, and Hexcells Infinite, which basically gives you, as you can see by the blurb, over 100 different puzzles. It's $5.99 on Steam for the whole complete pack. It's a nice price, and each one is reviewed in the high 90s. One of them has even got 100% in one of them. So I'm not going to give you the whole, I'm going to split them up and tell you the reviews for each one. Overall, it's a well-received game, and if you're into your kind of puzzle games, you'll enjoy it. Expand is, I keep trying to think what the game is that it mimics. It's $4.79 on Steam at the moment. It's basically a 2D indie minimalist game where you guide a pink square through a circular labyrinth that constantly rotates, unfolds, and expands around you. As you can see from there, it basically is constantly changing, and you've got to try and avoid hitting the walls and sort of getting through all the different puzzles. It's a sort of mind-bending puzzler, to put it simply. One thing that is recommended on the Steam page is a controller, because of the way it's basically the way you have to sort of control the square as it goes around this maze. So it's not needed, but it's just recommended. Review wise, it's 84% overall on Steam. A nice game, and seems quite fun if you like that kind of thing. Now, Regency Solitaire. Don't let the appearance of it fool you. It is actually a puzzle game, sort of with the solitaire sort of twist to it. It does have an actual sort of story mode. Basically, you've got to you play as this woman who has to go through and play these different variations of solitaire to complete quests and sort of protect her mansion or her own holiday home or something. I got lost. I got a bit bored after sort of reading about it, but basically, it's a general sort of card puzzler game. It's actually $6.99 on Steam. It's actually extremely well received. Obviously, if you're into these sort of card puzzly games, it's not too serious a puzzle game. It's a card game, so don't necessarily go away from the fact that it's actually a card game. Look at it more as a sort of puzzler game involving solitaire. Overall, the reviews are quite good. Oh, well, I say quite good, really good. They're 99% overall. It's not a bad game in terms of that, as long as you like that kind of thing. Okay, so there you have it. That's the complete bundle, from Lethal League to all the way to Nuclear Throne. What do I think? Well, I really like the Humble indie bundles, because you get a lot of indie bundles. There's a lot of indie bundles out there, and a lot of them are basically the indie games that you don't really hear much about of, because they're fairly simple, or they're not sort of the mainstream ones. And there's nothing wrong with those, nothing wrong with those at all. But the Humble indie bundles tend to be more mainstream. Things like Octodad, Super Time Force Ultra, you know, the Beginner's Guide. All games that are sort of mainstream, and they bring all these sort of games that you may not necessarily have heard of. I mean, I never heard of Lovers in a Dangerous Space-Time before now. And it looks exceptionally good. It's actually on my list to try next on Cosmo Tries Games. So overall, I think this bundle is quite strong. Even though the sort of expansion isn't necessarily that powerful, they're mainly just puzzle games. To sort of add them to this whole sort of bundle, when you've got a lot of sort of RPG-esque shooter action adventure games, it sort of balances out the bundle quite nicely. So, pardon me, for a bundle, I'm actually going to give it a quite generous 9 out of 10. You know, it maybe needs one more thing. I don't know what it is to sort of complete it. But overall, I'm impressed with the bundle. I like the bundle. The expansion is good. Can't fault it for anything else than that. Okay? And that is pretty much it, guys. As always, thanks for watching. Like and subscribe for more stuff from me in terms of games and reviews. I'm sorry I couldn't really review the PlayStation Bundle, but I just feel that it just wouldn't. It's just one of those things that sort of makes me feel that it's not worth me doing if I'm not going to sort of be able to get it. And if I'm comparing pounds to dollars, you have to do the conversions. It just seems silly. But, you know, take my advice, don't take my advice. It's really up to you. As always, let me know what you think by commenting on this video, or any other video for that matter. And hopefully next week I will see you for another new bundle. I've been Cosmocoder, thanks for watching, and happy gaming. And I'm off, and hopefully happy gaming for me, because I'm off to go and play Deus Ex. I'll see you later.